Topping today's news, the opposition leader visits with taxi drivers at the cruise port. The Ministry of Environmental Health removing more derelict vehicles from the streets. Police are questioning a Brazilian male in relation to the $7.5 million cocaine seizure on marijuana, and the 15-year-old that stabbed his older brother to death in Eleuthera appears in court. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jarino Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News. It's a pleasure to have you join us. Since the 2023 reopening of the Nassau Cruise Port, taxi drivers have voiced concerns over the lack of accommodations for them, calling on the Ministry of Tourism to improve conditions and protocol for taxi operators. Well, today, Leader of the Official Opposition, Michael Pintard, and the Member of Parliament for St. Anne's, Adrian White, met with taxi drivers and conducted a walkabout of the cruise port while listening to and amplifying the taxi drivers' concerns.
We have reached out to the port and have raised the question about a timeline for the continued development. This port, we believe, is of benefit to the country. We want to make that clear. It is of benefit to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, to New Providence in particular. But all persons must benefit. And so what we're expecting is for the drivers themselves to also benefit, to be protected in terms of from the elements, to ensure that they can move through the line with no discrimination in terms of being able to collect passengers, that they should not have unfair competition. One of the concerns you've heard taxi drivers mention is whether or not they are politically exposed persons who own a segment of this business.
Chairman of the Prince George Wharf Taxi Committee, Hubert McIntosh, says they remain deeply unsatisfied with the designated spaces for the drivers.
The small area can only hold 6 or 7 people, no table, just some benches. That is unacceptable. That is unacceptable, and the drivers are not pleased with that. That's fit for cattle and dogs, not human beings, not ambassadors of this country. We deserve better. And we demand better. And I'm happy that I spoke with Mr. Pintard, that he can get this little gathering here for us so the public, the Bahamian people, will see what's going on, because we need to be heard.
McIntosh is calling for a seat at the negotiation table with the cruise port and the Bahamas Taxi Cab Union to ensure they are better represented. On Tuesday, the Tribune ran a story with Michael Pintard, Leader of the Official Opposition, criticizing the government, in particular Chester Cooper, the Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, for its alleged failure to sell the Grand Lucayan Resort and failing to build a new Grand Bahama International Airport. Mr. Pintard was speaking as a guest on Guardian Talk Radio with host Howard Grant. Well, Deputy Prime Minister Cooper wasted no time in responding. In a written statement on Tuesday afternoon, Mr. Cooper, in return, accused Mr. Pintard of saying anything to gain political relevance, despite his knowledge of the history behind the sale of the Grand Lucayan and the construction of the new Grand Bahama Airport, both matters in which Mr. Pintard and the FNM has had a role to play, said Mr. Cooper. The DPM noted that the Grand Lucayan is currently open, well-maintained, employs over 150 people with occupancy levels and revenues that significantly exceed any year that the resort was in the care of the FNM. Mr. Cooper says there continues to be strong interest in the resort. As for the airport, Minister Cooper noted that Grand Bahama is the fastest growing island for air arrivals in the country, and the fact is that the government has entered into a public-private partnership agreement for the airport reconstruction with demolition already underway. Police are now looking for one of 2 drug traffickers following a large cocaine seizure on marijuana on Tuesday. A joint operation between the Bahamas, United States, and Turks and Caicos Islands resulted in 760 pounds of suspected cocaine being confiscated. The drugs have an estimated street value of $7.5 million. Police say shortly after 1 a.m. on Tuesday, officers acting on intelligence proceeded to the Mayaguana Airport, where they met a white single-engine Cessna aircraft that had just landed. As the officers approached the aircraft, 2 males exited and fled into nearby bushes. A search of the aircraft revealed the drugs. Police are questioning a 37-year-old Brazilian male in connection with this seizure. They are actively in search of that second male involved in this matter. The Department of Environmental Health Services, in partnership with Urban Renewal, removed about 20 derelict vehicles from the Southern Heights Community Park today. The initiative is said to create a more clean and friendly environment. Minister of Environment and Natural Resources, Vaughn Miller, says this is an ongoing issue, but they are working together to stop residents from dumping unwanted vehicles and other bulk waste into public spaces.
And so I'm thankful that we're collaborating in collaboration again with Urban Renewal, and we also work independently. They continue what they're doing, and we continue what we're doing in different spaces. But we're happy to collaborate today in this area and to rid this area of these derelict. And the amazing thing, or surprising thing, is most of these vehicles are not derelict vehicles. These vehicles, but this is a problem throughout the island of Providence, where if persons find that they can park their vehicles and they can get away with it, they will do it, and they have been doing it. And so we're encouraging persons to contact us, contact Urban, and let them know where these challenges are, where this is happening, so that we can make certain to go there and alleviate those communities.
Acting Director for the Department of Environmental Health Services, Lana Williams, said derelict vehicles can obstruct traffic and pollute the environment. She also explains what you can do if you would like to collect your vehicle that may have been towed. She also explained what you can do if you would like to collect your towed vehicle that may still be roadworthy but not running.
The department is here to service these vehicles and to move these vehicles, really. And we ask persons, if they do find vehicles that are derelict and that are obstructing roadways or in parks such as these, they can give the department a call, and we can come out and we'll identify the vehicles that needs to be removed. Some of these vehicles today, as you can see, they are not in that bad of a condition. However, they are derelict vehicles. They may not be considered end-of-life vehicles, but they are derelict vehicles nonetheless. And so the department is required to move them. And you will find that those vehicles that are not in that bad of a condition, they will be taken to our facility on Farrington Road and will be held for about 2 weeks. Persons whose vehicles have been removed, they can contact the department and they can come and they can retrieve their vehicles if they are roadworthy.
Minister of Immigration and Member of Parliament for Carmichael, Keith Bell, says the government and the Department of Environmental Health Services has notified residents that their abandoned vehicles will be removed and crushed.
So we need to ensure that once we move these vehicles, that they are crushed, they are destroyed if they are not roadworthy. And we want to ensure that all Bahamians, we send out a very, very strong message that we are going to be relentless in our efforts to ensure that we rid New Providence, the Bahamas, of these derelict vehicles. We started already where we would have ensured that vehicles no more than 10 years old are coming into the country. You will now see that even where some persons are importing vehicles, wrecks are still being brought into this country, and we have to put a stop to it.
As this is a continuous effort or exercise, the Department of Environmental Health urges the public to dispose of your cars correctly, or you will eventually be fined. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.